What's going on, y'all? It's JD Pickell. Today on the Hard Count, JT Daniels is still out there somewhere in the transfer portal. Where is he going to go? Welcome into CFB with JD, the People's Channel. Everything you know, everything you love happens on this channel, happens nearly every single day. So subscribe, please. We want you along for the ride. We want you to contribute to this party. One way you can contribute, follow me on Twitter, at JD Pickell. Do a lot of things there that we do here, okay? So it's a great medium for us to hear from you and us to talk back to you that way, okay? So Armstrong Sims, Jack McKenzie, do the real heavy lifting, and y'all drive the show. JT Daniels, like we mentioned in the preview, he is still in the portal, and it is baffling that nobody else is talking about this more because out of high school, JT Daniels was the biggest thing out. I mean, he was a five-star quarterback out of a really reputable high school in modern day, Catholic out of Santa Ana, California. Matt Leinart went there. Matt Barkley went there. A lot of big-time quarterbacks came out of there. And like a lot of those quarterbacks, he went to USC, played as a true freshman at USC, like Matt Barkley. Also played as a true freshman at Modern Day High School. Was a national champion, I believe, last year and in the recent years. So all that's to say, guy can play. Guy can spin the rock a little bit, and he's still out there. Was the starting quarterback to start the year for the eventual national champion Georgia Bulldogs. What happened? Well, he got hurt. Lost his job to a guy named Stetson Bennett, who eventually led the Bulldogs to a national title. JT Daniels sees the writing on the wall. He says, okay, I lost my job. They won a national title. I'm probably not getting the reins back. And at this point, he's transferred. He will have transferred twice. Guys should play for an NFL team at some point in time. Like, he is that good. Ability is that prominent to where he's going to make money throwing the football. He knows that. Everybody else knows that. He just needs to get a little more tape to be able to help his draft stock. So that's the real thing he's looking for here, is the best fit for JT Daniels, where he's going to be comfortable and where can he help himself get into the NFL draft. Like, where can he improve his draft stock the most? We're going to tell you. We're going to break it down a little bit. And there's a lot of interesting fits, the first of which we already did a video on, West Virginia. I still think it's the best fit for him. One of his previous coaches, Graham Harrell, was the offensive coordinator at USC for Daniels. Why would you not go back and join forces with the man that helped you start your career? Go back, play in a wide-open offense under Graham Harrell, play in Morgantown, West Virginia, a place where they haven't been as successful as they want to be in recent years. So if you take West Virginia to, let's say, 10-win season, just dream with me. Say JT Daniels goes to West Virginia, wins 10 games. He is obviously the straw that stirs the drink at a place like West Virginia. He'd be the guy getting all the accolades, all the awards, all the credit. Draft stock, like we mentioned, that's what this is about. Draft stock is through the roof. Okay, keep an eye on that. Love West Virginia for him. Another place to look, Notre Dame. The big box that they check for him is it's that big stage. So if JT Daniels goes to Notre Dame, wins the job, plays well, I think it helps his draft stock enormously because he wouldn't be going to somewhere that is going to get lost in the shuffle. Like, you make a case for somewhere like Liberty or a number of other schools that don't have quite as much buzz. And so for that reason, he could get lost in some of the shuffle for some of these scouts. So we'll see what happens there. But Notre Dame also makes sense because of what the Irish need. I mean, you talk about Tyler Buckner. He's the guy they'd probably be looking to if it's not Daniels. There's going to be an open quarterback competition if he goes there. And I think JT Daniels, with his experience, with what he's already done so far in college football, he is probably more of a reliable sample size if you're an Irish fan. So something you got to be excited about. Also, a new head coach. I mean, your very first year there, you're going to have some pressure on you, okay, if you're the head coach. I mean, you have a lot of expectations. You got to make a good first impression, especially after the way they played in their bowl game. It'd be huge to get a guy like JT Daniels on campus and get you winning some football games. So I think it helps both parties there. This is the team that I am probably watching most closely, and it's a little bit of an awkward brand, but let's talk about it. Arizona. The University of Arizona, the Wildcats, Jedd Fisch, for what JT Daniels wants, I mean, passes with flying colors. Jedd Fisch was a quarterback coach in the NFL. And again, remember what this thing is about for JT Daniels. It's about getting to the NFL, being a part of one of those 32 teams. Jedd Fisch has all of the wisdom, the insight, the pedigree, everything you need for JT Daniels. He has that in spades. Now, they're not good yet. So talk about winning right away. Scored 17 points a game last year. JT Daniels steps in day one. He's the guy, and it's not even close. Also, he's closer to home. There's a West Coast team in the Pac-12. Get a chance to play against your old team in USC. You're a little bit closer to mom. You're not in the state of California, but you're closer. Nice little car ride away. I think Arizona makes all the sense in the world for JT Daniels. I'd probably put him at that number 2 spot right behind West Virginia, a place you could be comfortable and just revamp a program right away. If it's about playing right away, Arizona's got to be one of the biggest check marks. Now, this last team we're going to look at most seriously is a group of 5 team in San Jose State. And the reason I say this is anytime a kid transfers more than once. So, for example, let's look at Tate Martell. Bounced around until he ended up at UNLV. You get, to my best estimation, you get 2 Power 5 chances for him, and these are very different situations, but let's roll with it. You get 2 Power 5 chances. He got Ohio State, then he got Miami. After that, you got to go play somewhere else because, one, time is of the essence for yourself. Like JT Daniels, he's going to be a graduate. He's got to play now. He's got to put something on tape. Can't leave it to chance. And then 2, I think some group of 5 programs start to put more of their stock in guys they can develop. So like we said, Notre Dame makes sense because they got to win now. Arizona makes sense because you revamp the program. West Virginia, they all make sense, but from a purely logistics and development standpoint, these programs are recruiting kids out of high school. They're taking transfers with more eligibility. JT Daniels is probably a one and done, right? Like he's there for 1 year, putting up stats, helping your team win games, and he's gone. So for San Jose State, they have a history taking transfer quarterbacks, and Nick Starkel worked out pretty well. Also have a history of just having good quarterback play in general. A guy that I got to play with in high school, Josh Love, went there, lit it up, broke records. They have good quarterbacks at San Jose State. If JT Daniels follows the Nick Starkel trend, shows up there, plays well, let's say they win the Mountain West, I don't see any reason why he can't be a top 3-round kind of quarterback. Now, if he goes to one of these Power 5 schools and plays well, he's probably looking closer to that first round range. And again, that's a lot of different scenarios that you're playing out, a lot of different variables, but we'll roll with it a little bit there. A team that I think could be interesting to watch, and we're getting more into the conspiracy theories, the dark horses. How about Oregon? Now, before you say, I mean, how about Oregon? Before you shut that down completely, because I know they have Bo Nix there. Just think in your mind to yourself for a second here. Bo Nix and JT Daniels. Who is the better quarterback? I mean, honestly, tell me, who is the better quarterback? Go ahead and let me know in the comments below, because for my money, I don't think you could convince me that JT Daniels isn't a better quarterback from a skill set standpoint, from a just level of accomplishment standpoint across the board, even looking at those guys coming out of high school. JT Daniels, best Bo Nix in every single category. Now, it could be a matter of, hey, that seat's taken. I got 1 year. I don't want to risk it. But you got to remember, Dan Lanning is coming from Georgia, coming from JT Daniels' previous school, which he was the quarterback of when they went and won a New Year's Six Bowl. So there should be some rapport there. Also on the West Coast, like we said about Arizona, closer to home. So I could really see Oregon being a fit. Again, it's hard because they already have a quarterback in that program. But if JT Daniels is half the baller that I think he is, and he has half the moxie and the swagger that I think he is, I wouldn't count Oregon out just yet. It's going to be fun to watch. I think it happens after spring practice. You'll see a lot of these teams go shopping, for lack of a better term, once they finish up those 15 practices and see, okay, we got to fix that quarterback. Or maybe a team like Oregon says, you know what? We might go and see what we can get in another quarterback. Maybe Bo Nix isn't completely our guy just yet. All that's to say, going to be a lot of fun to watch. Whoever picks up JT Daniels gets a program changer right away. That's it for us here at The Hard Count. Appreciate you tuning in. Again, subscribe to the channel to stay up with everything we do here. Follow me on Twitter to contribute to everything we do here. We're going to keep the party rolling, and we will see y'all next time.